Welcome to The Explainer. So, you want to land a job in penetration testing. Well, it's not just about what you know, it's about how you think. Today, we're going to crack the code on the pen testing interview, show you what hiring managers are really looking for, and how you can prove you're the one for the job. So, what's the secret sauce here? What's the difference? It's not just a longer list of tools or exploits, believe me. Great pen testers just think differently. Interviewers, they're testing your methodology, how you connect the dots, how you react when a plan falls apart, and if you can see the real business risk behind a vulnerability.
And that right there is our focus for today. We're going way beyond the textbook answers to give you a strategic roadmap, one that will help you prove you have the mindset of an elite security professional.
All right, here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll lock down the core concepts. Then we'll get inside the hacker's playbook. We're going to look at the new frontier. That's right, hacking AI. Then go beyond the keyboard with soft skills. And finally, put it all together to show you how to become that top candidate. Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1, mastering the core concepts. Look, these are the absolute non-negotiables. Getting these wrong, not an option. This is the foundation that everything else is built on. First up, what even is penetration testing? You know, at its heart, it's about getting ahead of the bad guys. It is a simulated attack, but the keyword there is simulated. This isn't about just breaking stuff. It's about finding the cracks in the armor in a safe, controlled way so they can be fixed before a real attacker finds them. You will absolutely get asked to explain the difference between a pen test and a vulnerability scan. So think of it this way. A vulnerability scan is automated. It's like a robot checking every door and window to see if it's unlocked. A pen test, on the other hand, is manual. It's creative. That's you, the human, trying to pick the lock, finding an open window, and then seeing what you can actually do once you're inside. One finds potential weaknesses, the other proves they can be exploited. Big difference. Interviewers really want to see that you're methodical, not just some cowboy hacker, right? A great answer walks them through a professional, structured process. It always starts with planning and reconnaissance. You got to do your homework. Then you move into the actual attack. But here's the critical part. It all ends with reporting. Because let's be honest, a vulnerability that isn't clearly explained and documented might as well not have been found at all. Oh, you will almost certainly be asked about the CIA triad. Why? Because it is the absolute bedrock of InfoSec. A great candidate won't just define confidentiality, integrity, and availability. No, they'll explain how a specific attack, like ransomware, is a direct assault on availability, while a data breach is an attack on confidentiality. You have to connect the theory to the real-world impact. That's the key. Okay, foundation is solid. Now for the fun part. Let's get inside the hacker's playbook. This is where theory meets reality. An interviewer doesn't just want a walking dictionary, they want to know if you can think, adapt, and exploit like a real attacker. When it comes to web application security, the OWASP Top 10 is the universal language. It's the industry standard list of the most critical risks out there. In an interview, you can't just name them. You need to be ready to explain exactly how to find them and how to exploit them. Now, this is really interesting because this chart tells a story about risk. We see more than twice as many CVEs for cross-site scripting, or XSS, than for SQL injection. Why? Well, XSS is super common, but often has a lower impact. SQL injection, on the other hand, is less frequent in modern apps, thankfully, but a single successful attack can be absolutely catastrophic. We're talking about compromising an entire database. You might get a code snippet thrown at you just like this one. The interviewer wants to know, can you spot the danger? That F string right there, it directly jams user input into the database query. That's a textbook SQL injection vulnerability. A top candidate won't just spot this, they'll immediately suggest the fix, like using parameterized queries. Another massive vulnerability you need to know is broken access control. The most famous flavor of this is IDOR, that's Insecure Direct Object Reference. It sounds almost too simple, but it's where you can just change an ID in a URL from, say, user equals 100 to user equals 101, and boom, the application just hands over someone else's data. It sounds basic, but you would be shocked how often this is found in major applications. All right, if you want to go from a good candidate to a great one, you have to talk about what's next. And right now, the future of security is being shaped by AI. Showing that you understand the new attack surfaces of large language models, that's a huge, huge differentiator. That's right, things are moving so fast that OWASP already has a new top 10 list just for LLM applications. This thing highlights brand new risks like data poisoning, excessive agency, and of course, the number one threat. Which brings us to prompt injection. This is the big one. Think of it like social engineering, but for an AI. An attacker crafts this really clever prompt that basically tricks the LLM into ignoring all of its safety rules and doing something it was never supposed to do. It effectively turns the AI into the attacker's own personal puppet.
And if you think this is just theoretical, check this out. This is a real-world example. A user just told a car dealership's chatbot to agree to any offer. The result? The bot officially offered him a brand new car for $1. This just shows how real and immediate these risks are.
Look, your technical skills will get you the interview, but it's your soft skills that are going to get you the job. And, more importantly, make you successful in it. A great pen tester isn't just a technician, they're a trusted advisor. Interviewers love, and I mean love, to ask questions just like this. They're not just testing if you know what Kerber roasting is. They're testing your single most important soft skill. Can you explain a super complex technical topic to someone who isn't technical, like an executive? It's crucial.
So you see, it's about so much more than just finding flaws. Can you explain that flaw to a CEO? Can you handle the pressure when a test goes sideways? Can you actually work with a team to fix the problem? That is the difference between a simple hacker and a professional security consultant.
Okay, let's put it all together. How do you combine all these different skills to build that unbeatable profile of an ideal top-tier candidate? Think of this scorecard as your final pre-interview checklist. Have you mastered the fundamentals? Check. Can you demonstrate your technical chops with real examples? Check. Are you ready to talk about future threats like AI security? And finally, can you prove your soft skills by communicating clearly? If you can hit all 4 of these, you're not just another candidate. You're the solution they've been looking for.
So here's the last thing I want you to remember, the final mindset shift. The interview itself is your first pen test. The company has a vulnerability. They have a need for your exact skills. Your resume got you in the door. Now, your job is to exploit that need and prove that you are the patch. Now go ace that interview.